Hi everyone, it's Juliet here. So if you watched my last video where I did an unboxing of the products that I got sent from Beebeecraft, I thought today I would do a project and show you how to use some of it. So we're going to make a bracelet, and I thought it might be fun if we picked out some of the colors ourselves. So I'm going to use some of these. Just trying to decide which ones. I really like this green. Yeah, I think we're going to use some of these greens. So I'm going to get out about 6 of those. I might need more, but we shall see. Okay, and now we're gonna need some pearls that go with it. So I'm going to pick out, I think I'm gonna get these lighter green ones. So I'll just pick some of them out. I don't know how many I'll need, maybe 7. I can always get more if I need more. Okay, I'll scooch these back in. Oopsies, just dropped one on my lap. And then we're going to need some 11-O's. And we're going to need some 8-O's. This is a bracelet that I used to make in my store, but I'm gonna do something a little bit different with it today, which is I'm gonna use 2 different colors of 11-O's and see how that works. So we'll be experimenting together. Okay, so we're gonna need some 11-O's. So if you watched the last video, I've got 24 colors of 11-O's to choose from. So I'm gonna use 2. Now I like to have, I don't want it to be too matchy-matchy, like I could go for green and then everything would be green and it would all be like, wow, that's a lot of green. This kind of midnight blue is interesting as a more neutral color, possibly. And then, or I could use a sort of yeah, I think I'm going to use these 2. And then we're going to need some 8-O's as well. And I think, why do I always struggle with this? It's like the simplest thing to open, but I make it so difficult. Okay, I'm gonna use the yellow ones as an accent. So I'll just grab out a little pile of those. So I will put links in the description below to all the materials that I'm using. Obviously you can use your own color choices and so forth, but if you're interested, I will put links in the video below. Right, I'm just gonna pause this video and rearrange everything nicely on the mat, and then we'll get started. Okay, really quickly, I've been looking at the different colors of seed beads, and I've actually changed my mind, you know, as you do. So these are the 2 colors that I originally had picked, but I've decided to go with a lighter color blue and this like lime green instead. So I just yeah, yeah, I think this is I like the brightness of this a little bit more. So I just wanted to tell you that. And the other thing I forgot to tell you is you will need a clasp, obviously, for your bracelet. So this is the magnetic clasps that, again, Beebeecraft. You can get those at Beebeecraft, and they will be in the description. Okay, so sometimes you have to try things, and so I've been trying out the color scheme that I had picked out, and I thought it was too bright, and I actually preferred the back. I didn't like the yellow 8/0s, so I've switched to a color that matches our pearls, and I'm actually going to add this color into the design. But I am now ready to show you. So this is basically the bracelet. So this was the top. And I say the top because if you look at the profile, the bracelet is designed so that the 8mm beads stick out more on one side than the other, so you know that that is the top. But I actually like the color scheme better of the bottom, but we're actually going to try something even different from this. So this is essentially what we're going to be doing today. So let me get some Fireline. I'm using the 6-pound in crystal, and I am going to get sort of an arm and a half, I guess, just, you know, a comfortable amount. You're going to have to add more on, like that's how much I used for this, and obviously that's not enough to make a full bracelet. So you're going to need to add more thread on as you go. So let me get this threaded and we will begin. So this first unit, I guess we'll call it, is slightly different than the rest of them, just because we're at the end, so it makes it actually easier for us. So the other units are worked in a slightly different way. So leave a long enough tail that you can add a clasp and weave in the end. So I'm leaving like 6 inches. I'm leaving a nice long amount because you will need to kind of reinforce around when you add your clasp and everything. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to pick up one of our crackle beads, these are 8mm rounds, and I really like them because they have, as you spin them, they kind of change from like more yellow to, these are kind of a teal color. And so you'll notice I now have 3 colors of seed beads. So what I want to do is I actually want the blue to be around the top like this. I'm going to use the lime for the these little corners, and then where the blue is on the top here, I'm going to have the green on the bottom half. So all right, so push your crackle bead down, leaving, like I said, a 6-inch tail, and you're going to pick up 9 of your top color, whatever you want your, okay, that one's not letting me through, whatever you want your top color to be. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so 3, 6, 9, and push that down and go. So if your thread's coming out this way, you're going to enter from the opposite side where your tail is, and just make a loop. And guess what? We're going to make a loop on the other side too. I bet you never would have guessed. 1, 2, 3, 4, Okay, I'm having trouble getting through some of these. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 3, 6, 9. So these beads that I got from Beebeecraft, they're pretty good. They are coated on the outside, and they're not completely uniform like Miyuki's would be, but they're pretty close, and you can just weed out any that are a little bit small, or like, yeah, you'll need to kind of cull a few, but you know, they are pretty. But yeah, they're coated on the outside. So if you use seed beads and you stiffen with like floor polish or whatever you use, the coating might come off. So I wouldn't put anything on them if I were you. All right, so I'm coming out the crackle bead. Now pick a direction you want to work in and go all the way around through those 9 that you've added on whichever side you choose to go. I am working in a counterclockwise direction or anti-clockwise, depending where you're from. And then we're going to pick up 1 bead to fill the gap here above the hole. We're going to go through the other 9 on the other side. And we're going to pick up 1 bead to add here to fill the hole. And then we're going to go through 4 of our beads. So the next 4. All right. So hopefully you can see I'm going through 4 of the next beads. All right. So there we are. We have a ring around it. Now, if your ring's a little bit loose, don't worry, we're going to tighten that up. What you don't want to do is pull too tightly at this stage, because what we're going to do next is going to tighten everything. Okay, so I'm going to pick up what I want. If you recall, I want to use the lime accents for the corners here. So that's what I'm picking up right now. I'm picking up 1 of my 11-0s, 1 of my 8-0s, and these 8-0s are very irregular. Like that one's huge. I'm not going to use that. So what I've been doing is using the thinner ones on the sides of the bracelet and the fatter ones at the ends where the connectors are. So I'm going to use that one and 1 more lime. So you've got, basically you've got an 11-0, an 8-0, and an 11-0. You're going to skip the next seed bead. So you've gone through 4, you're skipping the 5th one, you're going through the next 4. Okay, there we go. And what that's going to do is it's just going to make a little, what I call a bridge. So there you go, that's a little like bridge over the beads. And guess what, we're going to do that 3 more times. So we're going to pick up an 11-0, and here I want a fatter, because that's a connector. That one's maybe too fat. That one's pretty good. And so, and again, 11-0, 8-0, 11-0, skip the next bead and go through the next 4 beads. So I'm going through 4. And again, you're just gonna form that little like point that's just going over the beads there. Again, same thing, pick up an 11-0. I'm going to get a thinner one here. That might be a little too thin actually. That one's good. Okay. And another 11-0. Yeah, again, these are like, there's thinner ones and fatter ones, so I'm just trying to get two that are the same-ish, kind of medium ones. So you're skipping a bead, and then you're going through the next 4, and then the last, pick up, I want a kind of fat one here, because this is going to be where my clasp is, and another 11-0. So 11-0, 8-0, 11-0 through the next 4 beads. Okay, so that's now our top layer, but we need to add another layer underneath here. So we're going to go through the middle, seed bead there. Hang on, oops, okay, the thread on that, I was like, what is this thread? It's not even attached. Okay. I'm gonna do the bottom on the top just because my tail is here, so we're gonna just make this be the bottom. So what we're gonna do, I'm coming out of this seed bead, I went through 4 plus the middle one here, the 5th bead that sits underneath the 8-0. Okay, so I hope you can see what I'm talking about. I'm coming out of this bead right here that's below the 8-0. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick up 9 of our bottom color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I am just going to check 3, 6, 9. Okay, good. Now I'm going to come right over to this middle seed bead that's underneath the 8-0 right here. I'm going to go into him. So just be careful, like if your thread's going this direction, you want to follow the circle round. You don't want to crisscross. You want to go the same direction that your thread is working in. And it's just going to sit on the top like that. Okay. And same thing again. I'm going to pick up another 9. Okay, so 3, 6, 9, okay. And again, I'm going to go into that blue seed bead that's right underneath the 8-0. And make sure that your beads go where you want them to go. All right. Now we're going to go through 4 of these guys, the next 4 of the color that you just added. Okay. And what we want to do is we want to tie this bit to this half. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to go through 4 and then we're going to go through that little bead that's right there, that little blue bead that's sitting underneath our bridge. So can you see the bead I mean? That middle bead, just go through that. And once you're through that, you're going to skip, because this bead is like his buddy. They're together. So you're going to skip that one bead right there, and then you're going to go through the next 4 until you get to the gap. You're going to, when you pull that, now these 2 strands are attached together. Now we're missing a bead here, so we need to add 1 bead, And then we're going to go through the next 4. And then we are going to go through that blue bead that's hiding under there. That little guy right there. I'm going to go through him. And then we're going to skip this guy because that's his friend. And we're going to go through the next 4 beads, which should take you to the next gap. And we're going to pick up, sorry, let me move that, 1 bead, and we're going to fill the gap. So we're going to go through 4. Okay. Now, so this is going to be our top, but we have this pretty like teal accent color underneath that's just gonna give it a little bit of like a pop, and it helps that the teal in this bead, this beautiful crackle bead, show up as well. It's just, yeah, it's very pretty. Okay, and I'm loving this green. It's much nicer. This one was a little bit too bright for me, the yellow. I think the green, yeah, this is a better color scheme. I'm already liking it better. Okay, so I'm coming out from this teal right here, which is the 4th one. This is the middle one that goes with the AO. So I'm going to go up this bridge. And what that is going to do, you will see in a minute, it's going to center at this between these 2 rows, between the blue, the darker blue row and the turquoise blue row. So then I go down. Now, so I'm skipping this middle guy here and going back into this turquoise row, the next 4 beads. Okay, so this is now kind of centered. We're going to be reinforcing it more, but you can see, like, it doesn't know, like, am I with this row or am I with this? So he's kind of holding both rows together. And we're going to do the same all the way around. So you're going to go through 4 till you get to the next thing. You're going to go up the bridge, so through the lime greens. You're skipping this guy here, the middle one that is friends with that bead there, and go through the next 4 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, that's kind of centered this a little bit more. And I'm not pulling super tight because we are going to be doing more reinforcing. You really don't need to pull super tight on this project. Okay, so I'm skipping this bead and I'm going through these 4. And up the bridge. And so let me just see, 1, 2. Yeah, I can see I went out of this bead, so that's the bead I skip. And through these 4. Okay, so I've gone all the way around. Now what I like to do is I like to, anywhere where it looks a little bit like it's more on one side than the other, I just go up and down through the bridges and I kind of switch sides. I'll go like blue, turquoise, blue, turquoise, turquoise, blue, turquoise, blue. And that usually gets, so on this side I can see it needs to be pulled a little bit more towards the turquoise. This might need to be pulled a little bit more towards, yeah, again, I think the turquoise. So and the other thing I can do is when I come out these four, if I think that some of the seed beads are not sitting together nicely, I can turn around right here, go the opposite direction through these four, and then back up through those four to lash those together. Or the other thing I can do, if there is a middle bead here that looks a bit loose, I can run around the full ring and just reinforce that ring. So basically you're just going to need to look at your work and see what needs to be done. I'm actually, this one's behaving pretty well. I'm really liking it so far, and I prefer this color scheme to the last little test bit that I made. Okay, so once I've completely reinforced it all, I'm not going to do as much as I normally would for you guys. Check your bead, which way is up and down, like which way is the thread going, so that it can turn. So this is my top and my tail. So I'm going to go into one of those. So yeah, you want the axis of the bead that the thread is going through to be going the length of your bracelet. So just check that, and that's how you'll know where to carry on. So that's actually the bottom of our bead that we were working on there. This is the top, or our unit, I guess I should say. Okay, so now we're going to add the next little section here, which you can see on that one. So we're coming out from our 8/0, and I'm going in this direction because I was working that way. I went through that way, but I turned my work over. And I'm going to use the blue. So I'm going to pick up 3 blue. I'm going to pick up one of our 8/0s, and I'm going to pick up one of these 4mm pearls. And these ones, remember I was like, they're not Swarovski, they're just, so they do have a flat bit on it, but you can't tell it in this design. It looks perfectly in place and very nice. You know, nobody's gonna be like, oh, that pearl has a flat bit on it, how could you? And if they are, you say, what are you doing? Get off my wrist, you weirdo. Okay, so yes, we've picked up 3 seed beads, an 8/0, or 4mm, an 8/0, and 3 seed beads, and then we're going back into the 8/0 on the other side just to form a loop like that. So 3, 8/0, 4mm, 8/0, and 3. And then we are going to go through the 3 11/0s. We're going to go through our 8/0. So we're coming out the 8/0, the 8/0, and then we're going to pick up 3 more 11/0s. That one's a little bit weird. Okay, so 3 more of our 11/0s, and then I'm looking for a nice thick 8/0, because again, this is going to be like holding the whole bracelet together. So I'm using the thinner ones on the sides. And then I'm picking up three more. So I've got 3 11s, an 8/0 and 3 11s. And I'm going to go, so I'm coming out this 11, I'm going to go into this 11 right here, just the 11. And then I'm going to go into this pearl. And then I'm going to go into this 11 again from the like away from my work. That's my tail that's got in the way there. Okay, so I am coming out, sorry, these are 8s. I keep calling them 11s. So I am coming out here. I'm going to skip this 8 and I'm going to go into these 3 11s. And I'm just going to push the 11 to the outside and I'm going to pull the thread so that these kind of come towards the middle and he sticks out. See how he's like now poking up? I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm skipping this 8 and going into the next 11s. And when I pull, I'm going to grab this thread and kind of push it to the inside of that 8/0, and I'm going to pull the 8/0 out a little bit. And when I'm tightening, I want my thread to be on the inside of that bead. Same here, I'm skipping the 8/0. And I'm going just through the 11s. And again, I'm pulling him kind of away so that this sits out. See how it's kind of forming like a diamond when I do this? One more time, I need to skip this 8/0 and I'm going to keep my thread on the inside. Go through the next 11s. There we go. Look at that. It's really pretty, right? And then I'm going to go through the 8/0 and I'm going to go all the way down all of these beads to reinforce. And when I get to this 8/0, I need to make sure that it's not just him that's holding this whole bracelet together. So I'm going to go through the lime bead, flip your work over. On the back, you're going to go through that middle bottom color bead that's underneath the 8/0, like that. And then you're going to go back through this lime bead and into the 8/0, and then I'm going to flip my work back over so I can see what I'm doing from the front. So I've basically gone down through the back and up. So this is now really well attached on, and if the thread breaks, you know, the whole bracelet's not going to fall apart. So then I'm going up through the 11s, the 8/0, the 11s, and the 8/0, and I'm ready to start my next unit. But how do I do that? Because remember when we started this one, we started in the crackle bead, so we are going to have to do a slightly different thing here. So instead of picking up 9 beads here, I'm going to pick up 1 lime colored bead, one of the you know, our accent color beads, because we got to get to the main circle. So we're going to pick up one of our accent color beads, and then we're going to pick up 9 of our blue beads. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that, if we look at that, we've got 3, we've got 6, we've got 9. Push all that down. You're going to pick up a crackle bead, and you're going to go through those blue beads again. So ignore the accent color, the lime one, just the 9 blue beads is all you're going through there. Okay, so there we go. And then we can pick up 10 of our blue beads here, because we might as well pick up our corner bead here that covers the hole while we're here. Saves time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is 10 beads. So we've got 4, 7, 10. Push all of that down. So we've covered the hole. So we're going to go through our crackle bead again. Now if you look here, you can see, if you kind of pull your thread loose, which ones are moving. So that's not moving. That one is moving. So I'm going to skip him. The very first guy that's moving is the one that kind of covers our hole. So I'm going to go through these other 9 here. I'm not interested in him. I'm just going to go through these 9. And pull and get your thread completely looped around your work. Okay, and now I need to fill the gap right here, so I'm gonna pick up one more bead and I'm gonna go through the next 4 blue beads. And now I'm ready to add my points just like I did before. So I'm going to grab a lime bead, I'm going to grab an 8/0 bead, I'm going to grab another lime colored bead, and I'm going to go through the next, I'm skipping one, skipping the next seed bead right there, and I'm going through 4 more. Make sure those are sitting nicely. There we go. Again, I'm going to pick up a lime. That lime's kind of skinny. I'm going to get a fatter one. Okay. I'm going to pick up an 8/0 and I'm going to pick up another lime bead. And I'm going to skip this guy who's in the middle there, and I'm going to go through the next 4 beads. And same thing again. I'm going to pick up a lime bead. I am going to pick up an 8/0 and I am going to pick up a lime bead. I'm going to skip the next bead and I'm going to go through the next 4 beads. And then looky here, I'm almost done. I only need to pick up 1 lime bead. And then I can just go straight through that 8/0 and straight down that lime bead. So that's the top layer completed. Now we need to do the bottom layer. So we go through the next 4 beads. One, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to turn my work over so I can see what I'm doing on the bottom. And I'm going to go through the 5th bead, this middle bead right here. Now I'm going to pick up 9. Of my bottom color, and I'm going, oops, I just dropped. Let me just double check that. 3, 6, 9, yep. So I'm going in this direction, my thread's working around, so make sure you're going the right way. I'm going to go through the bead opposite that's underneath the bridge, which is this one right here, if I can get into it. This is another reason you don't want to pull too tightly. You might have trouble. And make sure that that sits on the bottom side where I want it. And then we're going to pick up 9 more. And we're going to go into this blue bead that's right here underneath the bridge. So there we go. Then we go up 4. So this is all exactly the same as the first unit we did. We go into this blue one right here. To attach those together. We skip the next bead here and we go through the last 4, which should bring you to the gap, this gap that we've got. Just making sure I didn't get looped. Then you're going to pick up 1 bead, fill in the gap, go through the next 4 beads. So into this blue one right here that's underneath the rest of the bracelet. Skip this bead and go through the 4 teal beads. And fill in the gap. So you go through the next 4, and then we do exactly what we did on the last unit. We go over the bridge and through the teal, centering the bridges between the dark blue and the teal or turquoise. I keep calling it different things. So, just like that, and they'll start to feel much sturdier once you've done that. And basically you just rinse and repeat until you get to the end of this bracelet. So you're making this unit, and then you're making a small unit, and then you're making the big unit, and then you're making a small unit. And from what I remember when I made this before, what used to fit me, I have a 6.5 inch wrist, was 7 big units with 6 small units in between, is what I remember fitting me. And I used to use these magnetic balls magnets, which I will show you how to attach on once I finish this off. So this is the top of the bracelet, but when you're wearing it, you're gonna see a little pop of that turquoise color. You could also wear it the other way up. If you wanted to change the color scheme, you could wear it that way, but yeah, I'm gonna make mine this way, and you can see the difference here between my first color scheme. This was going to be the top, so I've made this be the top here. Yeah, it's slightly different. I definitely, I don't know actually, now that I'm seeing it with the yellow 8/0s, I'm kind of liking the yellow 8/0s. I just think there's too much of this, but yeah, they kind of give it a fun pop of color. But anyway, I will finish this bracelet and then I will come back and show you how to attach the clasp. Okay, so I've realized I forgot to show you. I showed you how when we're making this to reinforce this so that it's not just attached to this bead, but I forgot to show you how to reinforce when you attach the next large motif onto this area. So when you're going around and doing your reinforcing of your project, what you're going to do is on one of your passes, let me just get around there. You're going around, you're reinforcing whatever areas need pulling one way or another. And you're going to work your way down to this join right here. Okay, and you're going to go up through your 11/0 and your 8/0. And then, because we don't just want this attached to the 8/0, because suppose that gets like smushed or something, or so what we're going to do is we're going to go up here through the 8/0, through the purl, and back down again, and then you can just do whatever, finish reinforcing or move on to the next section, but it just strengthens the whole bracelet to do this. I know it's like annoying to have to keep reinforcing everything, but you know, if you're spending all this time making something, you want to make it so that it's going to last. So we've gone up the 11/0s, through the 8/0, we're going through the purl, down through the 8/0 again on the other side, and through the 11/0s. I have found with these seed beads, some of them do, I actually commented on this when I opened them, the box. Oh, that's okay. Some of them do have small holes. I've actually had to undo a bit and redo it because the hole was so small I couldn't pass through more than once. So that's something to be aware of with these seed beads, that if you are doing a project that requires many passes, I mean this one actually requires quite a few, they're maybe not the best, but anyway. So once you get back to your 8/0, you can just continue back down the 11/0 and then just work your way around and start your next link. And I will come back to you once, as I said, once I finish the whole thing. I just wanted to show you that one bit which I forgot to show you. Okay, so I have now completed 6 of the large units and 5 of the small units in between. And I'm trying it on my wrist. So if I pull it tight, I've got about just over an inch. Now my clasp, it's not huge, but there are going to be jump rings as well. So I think if I have another whole unit of this and then a clasp, I'm worried that it might be too big. So I think what I'm going to do, because this little section here is quite small, is I'm going to add a little section on each end, but I'm going to not put an 8/0 here. I'm just going to put an 11/0, and then I'm going to, because if you watch my videos, you'll know that I don't like to sew my clasp onto the work, so I will use a jump ring to attach through that. So I'll just do that quickly with you. So I'm coming out here of this 8/0, and so we're just going to pick up 3 of our 11/0s, 1 of our, hang on, just trying to find a good one that I like, 1 of our 8/0s. Oh, I need to get another, don't have enough pearls, 1 minute. Okay. So 1 of our pearls, and another 8/0, and 3 more of our 11/0s, and we go back through here again, just the same as we did before, but we don't put the 8/0 on the end, we just put an extra 11/0. So then I'm going to go up through those 3 11/0s and through the 8/0, and I'm going to pick up 7 of our 11/0s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and oops, dropped it. 7, 2, 4, 7. Okay. And then we're going to go through the 8/0 on this side. It's getting twisted. There we go. We're going to go through the pearl. We're going to go through the 8/0 on this side and through the first 3 11/0s. We're going to do just what we did before. We're going to skip the 4th 11/0 and we're going to go through the next 3 11/0s. So that 4th one needs to get pulled up. When you pull, you should make a point like that. Then you're going to go, you're going to skip the 8/0 and you're going to go through the 11/0s if I can get into the bead. Come on. There we go. So through the 11/0s. And keep that thread to the inside so that he kind of sticks out a little bit. So this should be in and that should be out. Again, we're going to skip this 8/0. So we'll just go through those 3 11/0s. Pull that so it's sticking out a little bit, and again up through the 11/0s, skipping the AO and get that thread to the inside of that bead so that the 11 O's go inward right here. Okay, so now we're going to go down, we're going to go around here, and then we can once we've reinforced, we can tie this off, and I will show you how to attach your clasp on. And the reason I do this is so that if something happens to the clasp or I want to change the clasp, I can change it and it's not like sewn into the beadwork forever because that's no fun when you have a problem. I'm just going around reinforcing that. And then to tie off our work, we're just gonna go through a few of the seed beads. We're gonna go past underneath the seed beads and make this loop, and then you go through the loop and you just gently pull, and right where that joins you've just made a half hitch knot. So do a few of those all the way around. So again, make that, hang on, I need to shorten my tail. Okay, so make that loop, so there it is, and then pass your needle through the loop. And then when you gently pull it down, it'll just sit right between the beads, and when you sew through the next bead, it actually will kind of pull the knot into the beadwork, so you won't even see it. And then you can just go through and cut off your thread. So obviously I have to tie in some of my ends where I ended and joined threads. I like to leave them until the end so that I know I'm not putting them in the same spot. And also my tail I will do exactly the same as I did on this end on that end. So let me do that, and then I will come back and show you the attaching the clasp. Okay, so I had some technical difficulties and I lost a little bit of footage, but let me just show you what I did. I attached 2 jump rings through the jump ring that comes on the clasp. I always like to do 2 so that if the thread happens to, like if with one, because we can't solder these shut because it'll melt our Fireline, there's a possibility that with one it could get worked in between the beads and the little join here, the thread could slip through and then you've lost your clasp. So I always put 2 because it's highly unlikely that at exactly the same time both of these little things are somehow going to work their way out. So I just put 2, and also I think it gives it a kind of nicer finish. So that's how I did the jump rings, and I'm sorry that I lost that footage for you. I hope that is a clear explanation. So yeah, that's my finished bracelet. And this is the wrong side, which is, I love this side. I love the colors. Anyway, hopefully you will let me know if you like this. I was saying that the beads and the materials that I've used, they are from my friends at Beebeecraft, who very kindly sent them to me. So I will put the links to those items that I've used in the description. These beads, they are a little bit irregular, but that's okay. I mean, you have to work with them to really discover that, but as long as you don't pick up one with a very small hole, they are fine for this project. And I've got some other projects we can do with them where you can use your beads that maybe aren't as regular as Miyuki's or Toho's. And yeah, I mean, I love the colors that these all come in. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is definitely a colorway that I would not normally make, but I actually like it. I wear a lot of greens and blues, so there you go. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!